today I thought I'd do something a little bit different again. Aside from the Porsche videos, I thought today we would look at one of my watches. It just happens that this watch has the same caliber or number as the 911. It's an Omega Flightmaster, 1970s Omega Flightmaster, caliber 911. Okay, I'm in focus. I'm in focus. Okay, so yeah, so it's an Omega Flightmaster. Omega Flightmaster was produced from 1969. 1969 was the first caliber, which was called a 910 caliber. A few years later, I think it was about 73, I'm not sure the exact date, I think it's 73, was the 911 caliber. The dial changed slightly, the coloring of the face changed slightly. The one I have is a 911, so let me show you that now. Okay, so the this is the Omega Flightmaster. This is caliber 911. The Omega Flightmaster was a follow-up to the very successful Omega Speedmaster. The Speedmaster was a watch favored by pilots, astronauts. It's the watch that went on the Apollo missions. I also have an Omega Speedmaster, an original late 70s, early 80s Speedmaster, late 70s actually I think it is, which I can do another review of later if you guys are interested. Let me know in the comments. But this is the Omega Flightmaster. As you can see, it is a very big case. It is a 44mm case. It's quite a complicated dial, but the dial is very easy to read. I mean, as you can see there, so the Omega Flightmaster has it has 4 buttons on the side and the crown. My watch has actually, the buttons on the side are actually normally color coded. The top one here is normally blue. This one is black, which is actually the right color. Black moves that outside dial. It's underneath the glass, so there's no risk of it moving. So that's why they put it underneath the glass. The 2 on this side normally have red and yellow and red and yellow. Red and yellow being for the stopwatch. So the stopwatch, as you can see the hand there, to stop, same as most chronographs. Press the same button, and then to reset to 0, it goes there. Now, obviously this hand here is a minute counter. That's the minute counter for the stopwatch. The blue hand is to set GMT time. The blue hand is controlled, I'm not sure if you can see that. So the one I'm turning now, the stopper I'm turning now, is usually color coded blue. Like I said, mine was painted black. I haven't changed this watch. I bought this watch was, Natasha bought this watch for me in early 2000. Like I said, it's about a 70, I think it's about a 73 or a 74. So that's the blue hand where you can set GMT time. So you set that for your GMT time. Hour hand, stopwatch hand, and second counter here. Now the difference between the 910 and the 911 is my 911 has the second counter here. The 910 had day and night dial there, so they changed that. The dial has this intricate pattern here, which is really nice. Like I said, the black dial is underneath. The 910 and the 911 caliber in the Flightmaster have the Lamania caliber 861. Sorry, I just had to check that because I forgot the number. From the Speedmaster. So they use the same movement from the Speedmaster in both calibers of the Flightmaster. This movement, the best thing about this movement is it is easy to service. Most watchmakers that work with chronographs can easily service this watch, and you can restore it. A lot of people, you see some of these on eBay, they're very, very restored. Yes, they might look nice, and yes, they buy boxes and they put it all together like it's a new watch. To me, I think the original one, like this one, is, my original one is much better. It's in original condition. There is a little bit of damage to the bracelet, which is the reason why I don't wear it as much, which is here. There is a place in the US that has spare parts, and I think I can get the spare part for it. I just haven't had the time to do it. I just haven't got around to it. I can still wear the watch. It still stays on. It's just lost part of the side of the bracelet. The back of the watch, once again, mine, I don't know if you can see that. Mine is original. On the back it has a picture of a plane. The plane is a DC-8, I think, so it has the Omega logo, it has the plane, and then it has Flightmaster, and Flightmaster is in lowercase. One thing about this watch is one of the points that people always look at, the Flightmaster is in lowercase, not uppercase. So one other thing when you, if you're looking to buy one of these watches, I mean, I think they're rarer and they're harder to come by now. I'm not even sure what price they sell for. I think I did a search a while back and I think there's somewhere like, I don't know, 5,000 US or something like that, depending on the condition, depending on the movement and papers, not papers, if it's got the booklet and things like that. I mean, you can find sites online where you can download the Omega Flightmaster manual, which have been up for years and years, which is still available. But the other thing about the stoppers, which is really important, is that the stoppers, these stoppers here are normally red and yellow. Some examples of the watch, you'll find that the stoppers have been replaced and they're just plain stoppers. My stoppers are still the original stoppers, they just don't have the paint. You can get them repainted, and some people do it themselves, or some people get their watchmaker to do it. The same as on this side, they're not plain, the dials here. Like I said, this one is meant to be, this one is black and this one is meant to be blue. It has been painted black, it should be blue. I never had that removed, or I just left it in the original condition. This was bought from a watchmaker in Sydney many years ago who specialised in Omega watches. But you can see the case is quite thick. The case is actually quite chunky. It was a very big watch at the time. I mean, in comparison, and this is the thing, in comparison, this is my Panerai. I mean, the Omega Speedmaster is a big watch, but in comparison to the Panerai, it's actually not that big. I mean, its case is, you know, similar. The one thing about the Flightmaster and about old Omegas is that the bracelet where the bracelet joins onto the watch case back, the bracelet is quite narrow, it's quite small. Rolex, as you know, still do this with the deep sea. With the deep sea, their bracelets are quite small, the lugs here. I don't know what the measurement is, I can't remember. Maybe it's 20, I can't remember. But yeah, so you notice when the watch is on, maybe I should put it on the right way around. When you notice when the watch is on, you know, it sits quite nicely on the wrist. It's not super chunky. The bracelet on this watch is the original bracelet. It hasn't been changed. It is the bracelet that came with the watch. Like I said, I don't think you can get these in spare parts anymore. I don't think you can get the same bracelet anymore, as to my knowledge, but I think you can get the lugs repaired, which I need to do. I mean, it's quite interesting looking at the old, I have the old Flightmaster instruction manual here. It's from a site called chronomaddox.com. It's a site that's been up for years and years, and he still has all the information about Omega watches on his site. But it's quite interesting reading the manual. You know, before we even started to design the Flightmaster, we researched the needs of the pilot, and then we made sure that we covered those needs, no more, no less. So basically just for pilots, no one else. The case is cut from a single block of Swedish stainless steel. The upper case is pressed and tempered 16 times before it assumes its unique elliptical shape, designed to fit the contours of the wrist comfortably. Even the winders, and this is what I was saying about the color coding, even the winders and the push pieces have been keyed to the face, and although the red and chronograph hands are supplied as standard, the Flightmaster is on a special request available with yellow hands to allow where the aircraft cabins are lit with infrared light. As you can see, mine have yellow hands. But this is the manual for the 910, so it could be slightly different. I mean, the Flightmaster watch, I have to say, is one of my favorite watches. I don't wear it that much. I have a few other watches that I wear. I normally just wear the Panerai that I just showed you before. I have a few other Panerais as well, and I have a couple of other Omegas. But I don't usually wear the Omegas that much because, like I said, this band is slightly damaged at the moment. It needs repair. So I'm always worried it's going to come off and I'm going to lose the watch. But it's a great watch to wear. I used to wear it all the time. It's a really reliable watch. I think it's been serviced once since I had it. I wind it quite regularly though. Old Omegas are really good watches to collect if you can find them. I mean, you know, 10 years ago, 12 years ago, they were very, very easy to come by. They were very low in price. They're quite expensive now, and some Omegas at auction go for very, very high prices. I think even now, if you buy an Omega, one of the special edition Speedmasters, I think in another 10 years, you're sitting on quite a good watch. Collectability wise, I think it's a good watch to look for. It's a good first watch. The Speedmaster was my first real watch, and then I went on from there to other brands. Anyway, just a quick look today at the Omega Flightmaster. There it is again. Just a quick look at the Omega Flightmaster. Caliber 911, same as the Porsche. Very funny, I only realized that a couple of days ago that it has the same caliber. It's a 70s model, it's an early 70s model. It's in original condition, like I said. It's had no restoration to it. The plexi, the glass is a little bit discolored in a way now too. But that's the nicest about it. That's the uniqueness of it. It's similar to a Porsche in some ways, you know, like you keep it original, keep it as close to original as possible. Don't spoil the heritage of the watch. This is a great watch. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to see more of these videos, please let me know in the comments below. Yeah, thanks again for watching. See you soon. Bye.